Hey guys.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you everybody for being here. Welcome to another Tuesday night. I have a gentleman who you guys always see in the chat. This is OtnipdroF Richard. He, along with Mark, is my main moderator in every Tuesday night live, but he is my co-host tonight. I saw somebody asking where Julian is. He just had some stuff to do. That's all I can say. Right now, I will leave it up to Julian to disclose, but he will be back next week. And I know I just made the intro with his picture, so now he has to come back next week. So I am going to let Richard introduce himself, and then we've also got Miss Rachel Strickland under me. This is her first time coming on the channel. And then we've got Miss Yvon Thrifty Rich, who has been on several times before, and I also do a live sale on her channel every month. So Yvonne and I have worked together quite a bit. All right, Richard, since you're my special co-host, I'm going to let you go first, and then we will do the ladies.
All right. My name's Richard. I go by the name OtnipdroF. That's actually spelled Ford Pinto backwards. I've been reselling on eBay for about a little over a year. I do have a YouTube channel, and that's it.
All right, Rachel.
Hey guys. My name is Rachel Strickland. If you haven't seen my YouTube channel, definitely check it out. I know Kat left some links in the description, and I'd love to have you over there. I talk about sourcing. I talk about shipping. I talk about repairing items. My favorite things to sell are vintage and designer. And over on Instagram, you can find me as Reseller Rachel Strickland, and I'd love to see you over there too.
All right, perfect. Miss Yvonne, here you go.
Hi, you guys. It's me. It's Yvonne. Hi. So I think I recognize most of the names, but hi. I've been reselling since before the internet, but the internet makes it way more fun. Got a YouTube channel. I sell on live sales, Poshmark, eBay, locally, straight off of my YouTube. And I have a booth. I'm setting up another booth. So hi.
Perfect. All right. Thank you all for joining me. I appreciate it. And Richard filling in for Julian. Mr. Jim actually emailed me these questions a few hours before we started the show, and he came in chat and posted them first. So the first couple are kind of for me, and then the other ones we can kind of all talk about. So he was asking, and I don't know, Rachel and Yvonne, I don't know if your spouses take part in the reselling. Richard, I know you're kind of solo going at it. So I'll answer for myself, and then Rachel and Yvonne, if you want to kind of follow with that, because Mr. Jim was asking, it's him and his wife doing it together. And he was asking about the division of like the labor and the tasks as far as reselling. So those of you that have been watching me for a while know this, but I probably do about 90% of my reselling stuff. But before everybody goes attacking my lovely husband, I do about 10% of the household stuff. So my husband cooks, my husband grocery shops, my husband will take Dalton whenever I need him, and he does the main part of the housework and stuff so I can focus on reselling and YouTube. But my listings, 90% are done by myself. My niece is helping now. And then my mom is doing all of my cross posting. So it's kind of a family thing. And Brad also ships on the days that I work 12 hours as a nurse. So he does all the shipping on those days. And he will occasionally list if I yell enough. That's the only way I can say it. He doesn't particularly like it, but I'm okay as long as he's holding up the other end of the stuff where I can do what I need to do. So that's how it goes in my house as husband and wife. And I'll let the other two ladies answer, and then we can talk about List Perfectly and Worth Point.
Yeah, so my husband is really not involved in my reselling outside of if he's an electrician, so sometimes he gets contracted by franchise stores, and if he's in those stores, he's always trying to do retail arbitrage for me. So my husband's role in reselling is just like, if he's at a thrift store or near one, he'll run in and pick up single stitch t-shirts. Like, he's the bomb at trying to find vintage just because he listens to me. So he literally just gets the fun part of picking up the random really good deals that he finds, or if he's at Walmart and sees clearance, like, he just has the fun part. But if I ask him to come down and like help me ship or help me, pack something that's heavy, he's all about that. But to say maybe 2% here with my husband, I'm 98%.
Yvon, what about your house? Oh, are you muted? You're muted.
I went to go grab the YouTube so I could make sure I could see the chat and chat with everybody. Sorry. You think this was my first rodeo? Okay. So, no, my husband's still working. Thank goodness. He's going to work for as long as he can. He has been in a thrift store. We've been together 8-10 years. He's been in one time when we were first together because I want to buy me a Christmas tree, our Christmas tree together. And I said, well, I want to go to the thrift store. That's where I get everything. So he went one time. He did grab 2 little end tables on the way out that he liked, and he's never been in one since.
Wow.
But I will tell you that, I'm setting things up for when he retires, that we can do things together. We may get an RV and hit the road so we can play poker and do thrifting. I don't know. I can tell you he has started with the Save the Smileys with me. I don't know if he got jealous because everybody was sending me smileys or whether he just wanted to have fun. Hi, Kelly. So he has been learning a lot this last year about how eBay works, how to compare prices. He's learning vintage, like, he's been buying me vintage glass pieces. So he's kind of getting acclimated in. I think he might get more excited, if he's not going to a 9-to-5. But, these days we're going to milk that 9-to-5 for as long as we can, right?
Yeah, for sure.
He's a great guy,
and then
though.
His worth point question was, and I'm looking at the email because it goes a little more in depth, and he's asking what we would recommend for finding an illegible artist signature. He said he has many pieces, but if he doesn't know what the signature is worth, he'll go to his grave without finding out. I don't know if you guys, what you do with like unnamed stuff. Rachel, do you do any stuff where it has a signature where you might not be able to figure it out?
I pride myself on listing and selling vintage unmarked items. So I feel like anything, just the quality that is in vintage is going to speak for itself. But if you can see a signature, you just can't really, it's illegible, then I would suggest Google Lens. And I'm shocked at how much Google Lens can actually depict, and even as far down as a signature. Like I've shot it at artwork, at signatures, and I mean, I'm not going to say 100% of the time, 90% of the time it's able to pull up some kind of a response. And if not, like, reach out to your crowd on Instagram and put it out there on your story, and then someone's going to have seen it before.
Hopefully.
That's kind of my story too. Google Lens is, I know some people don't like it, but there is a little bit of learning curve to use it and make it be, successful. And then if that fails, which it usually doesn't, but if it does, my favorite Facebook group is for identification is Jocelyn Crazy Lamp Ladies group, Old Things and Pickers. Old Things and Old Pickers. I don't know. That's us. But anyway,
I can't remember the name of it.
It's got a huge, she's got a huge space in there, and it's for identification. It's not to help, how do I sell on eBay or Poshmark. It's identification only and sharing thrifting finds. And like Rachel just said, you throw that up in a group like that and somebody has seen it. So, and if it doesn't work, but then I found out later what something is, I always be sure to go back into the group and update so that we all know. But yeah, same thing.
Richard?
Okay, I do use Google Lens quite a bit. I don't know anything about the trying to find out signatures. I haven't run across that. I do live in a small town, so I don't run across a lot of stuff like that. But Google Lens has been very useful for me trying to identify like the little figurines, things like that. So
Yeah.
Google Lenses is really helpful.
So I would say, and I think this happens a lot, and I've seen it coming up in our death pile destruction group. I think a lot of people spend too much time on it because they think they might have something super valuable, where I'm going to try for maybe 5 to 10 minutes and then I'm going to stop. Because if I got that something for $1 or $5, I'm okay getting, like, if it's really nice, getting $40 or $50. I personally will put artist signed if I cannot read a signature, because it is signed. I just don't know who it is. And if somebody happens to know and it's worth a lot, then that was my loss. But if I didn't list it, I would still be sitting on that item. So I kind of look at it as, if I pay $5, I list it for 50 or 100, then I'm good with it. Worth point is good for when you know the name, but there might be a database on Worth Point for signatures, but if there is, I'm not aware of it. Now I know, like, some pottery has like some databases you can use, like for pottery signatures, but it's more like first initial and marks and things like that. So if it was like an illegible scribbled signature, I think that would be the only way, unless you're in one of those Facebook groups, and somebody might know it, because there are thousands and thousands of people in those groups. Somebody might know the signature. So I think that's everything. Jim, if you're still in the chat, if you want us to follow up, let us know. And then Mr. Duncan, who has been a big, big help to us in the Death Pile Destruction group. Duncan is from Australia, for those of you that do not know. Wants to know how my death pile is going. It is coming along really slowly. I've actually been sick pretty close to a week now. I'm really good at covering it up, and you're still seeing me every day. I'm like a push through kind of person. I did have to call out from work Sunday because I wasn't feeling good, and I am almost back to full strength today. I'm feeling a lot better. I'm still off tomorrow, and I don't go back to work till Thursday. So I have not been listing much at all. I think I did like 5 today and only 2 yesterday, because I'm trying to make myself rest, which is hard for me to do. But as you guys see, I still do everything else that I'm doing. And then this is for everybody. How old are your oldest unsold listings, and do you just leave them up for years at some point do you ditch them?
I have some items that I listed when I was using a different backdrop. So absolutely, it was years ago. A lot of those items are smaller items, like a tank top doesn't take up any space. Why would I go donate that when it's literally taking up this much space? And then the bigger items, no, I'm not going to ditch it. I'm going to sell it at the very least at my cost, because I need to learn a lesson. Okay. I need to understand to not source that again. And if I take the easy way out and just go redonate it, then what's the likelihood I might pick up something bad, another bad buy like that, or something that's going to take up more space than what I really want to dedicate to it. So at the very least, if I can't earn money off of it, I'm going to earn a lesson. And I'm pretty stubborn as far as not redonating my inventory.
Yeah, I'm with Rachel, and I follow Scavenger Life's rule, the old OGs of the community, Scavenger Life. We've already done the work. List it and forget it. I don't really forget it, though. Every once in a while I go through, I'm like, well, maybe I better freshen up a picture. Maybe I'll tinker with the price. Maybe I'll take it to my booth, but I'm not redonating it yet. I've already put in the work. I've already spent the money. Somehow I'm getting my money back. Plus, I tend to buy unique items like a lot of us do. And sometimes it takes a while for the right person to find it. But I'm not going to let it go if it's a unique, rare item,
I had one actually today. I had it listed for well over a year. I picked it up at RA. I thought pretty much it was a bad buy. Came through today. I had 12 lots of them. Somebody came in and bought all 12 lots of them. So at that point in time, I'm all like, well, sometimes it's just best just to let it be. I'm still kind of new in it. So right now, I'm just letting things sit. Like you said, just be smarter the next time you go out there sourcing.
Yeah, and I don't really redonate either. So I'm one of those. I already did it. As long as you have the space. Now, this might be a little bit different for somebody in like a small apartment or with very limited space. And in that case, you would probably want to source items that are going to sell a little bit faster versus me with, 3 sheds that I can keep stuff in for years if it doesn't sell. Aunt B wants to know, Facebook Marketplace has covered the cost of shipping on some of my items. Have I experienced this too? I heard that it was happening, but I haven't noticed it on any of my listings. I don't know. Rachel, are you doing Facebook Marketplace shipping?
Okay, so I am just about to get on Facebook Marketplace because I'm not on Facebook personally. But to answer this question, like I saw Paul Philly Flipper talking about this, and the way he described it was that Facebook had a promotion if the item was listed under your business. So what he would do, correct me if I'm wrong, is list it under his personal account and then transfer it to his business account. And as soon as it was listed under his business account, Facebook would cover the shipping. I think that's how it was working.
I don't know, because I have all mine, I think, under my private one. So I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anybody else might know. Do you know anything about it, Yvon or Richard?
No, I don't do Facebook.
Yeah, I don't do Facebook either. So no, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the key is in that business account if anyone wants to look into that.
Yeah, I might need to see about like switching it over. They did it a few months ago for like everybody if it was under like a certain weight. But I haven't noticed it this time, but I shipped out 10 Facebook Marketplace sales yesterday. So it's not really, it hasn't affected if they're still having to pay shipping. I don't know if any of us can answer this question. Road tripper, thrifter, flipper, why does it take bidders so long to pay?
I do think that sometimes folks aren't like, we're glued to eBay and we're glued to our phones because that's our business and that's our livelihood. And if you're not, then it's a hobby for you, I guess. They're not, they may bid on something and not even, if it's like a slow auction, they're not even aware of when it ends. So do send out those payment notifications. And then I think sometimes when people buy even a buy it now item, we're hooked up on so many websites that have your payment automatic, and eBay doesn't. So they may think, well, it already got taken out. And they may think, oh, well, I didn't even realize I hadn't paid for it. So send out those notifications. Let them know I'm ready to ship it when you're ready to pay.
If we're talking eBay, I don't do a lot of auctions. I don't know if we want to get into that. I do it only on really special items. Currently, that would be Glassy Baby and my Fire and Light. Then you do not have to worry about people not paying. But other than that, the only other reason I use my allotment of auctions is maybe to run through some not really lost leaders, but some really lower priced clothing to kind of like get attention to my store.
Yeah.
But typically I don't do auctions.
I don't do auctions either, but I have had buyers buy stuff, and sometimes it's taken a few days. Normally, after 48 hours, I open up a case, and most of the time, they come back and pay. But I've had some that don't pay, and then you have to wait the time for eBay to cancel the order out.
Yeah, it's 5 days now. And sometimes they're not automatically canceling. I don't know why. But on like day 6, you can go in and cancel. And one of the reasons will be buyer didn't pay. It used to go automatic at 48 hours, but eBay got rid of that. I'm not sure really why. But most of my people pay, and I don't do requires immediate payment on my buy it now because most of mine sell either me sending them an offer or them sending me an offer. But like Rachel said, some people I think it's automated because I've had people not pay and then want to cancel and tell me to send them a refund because I think they thought they paid and they hadn't. So I think that is very possible. But Rachel has a good point. Like, we're glued to our phones, but that is not everybody. Somebody might not even have an eBay app on their phone and might only be checking their email or something. Yvon, Nancy wants to know if you sold Avon.
Nancy, now I'm just picking it up because that's my hedge fund, right? Everyone's saying Avon's going to come back. Well, I don't know about that, but like in my personal vintage glass collection, I do have one piece as a nod because that's an American icon. And a lot of the glass companies that we love to sell their vintage items, they made products for they made products for Avon. So some of them are really made by people that we love anyways. But what I have been doing is buying all the cute little critter. That's what I'm taking a hedge on. All the cute little critter perfume bottles, the owls, the mermaids. That's kind of where I'm starting. I've built a box on that, and they've got to be under $2. Other than that, I'm going to wait and see what happens with Avon. But I think some of the cute critters will sell. And I think I don't know what to say about Avon. Some of their jewelry is kind of cute too. I've got some of their smiley face.
The jewelry does okay. Mm-hmm. The jewelry actually does way better than the did I disappear? No, Richard, you're messing me up here.
I text you. I had to jump out and switch to my phone. I was having problems.
You had to jump out while I just happened to be finding a link for Miss Vicky in the chat and wasn't paying attention to StreamYard.
Wait a minute. Nancy, she might be asking me, did I sell Avon, like sell it back in the day? No, I've never done any MLMs or anything like that. Don't do it. That's blunt. I'm sorry. Don't do it.
Margaret is asking me where I purchase boxes for eBay. So it depends on how bad I need the boxes. For one, go to USPS.com and get the free boxes. For two, I typically will use eBay most of the time for my boxes. Not like eBay itself, but I will go look up like I had to order 8x6x4 today, and I put 8x6x4 100 because I knew I wanted to buy 100 of them at a time. But if I need them, like I'm out of 8x6x4 right now, but I can use my 8x8. But if I were out of both, I would go to Amazon. So it would be there in 3 days. So it really depends on how quick. Now you can't use your free priority boxes for first class. So you're going to need to go and either I keep every single box. Like that's actually a big box that I kept that my eBay boxes came in. But I sell big stuff, so that will go up in the loft once I bring the ladder. And I keep every single box that comes to me. Where do you guys get your boxes?
So recently I put out a call to everyone on my personal Instagram. Hey, it's Christmas. I know everyone is ordering online. Let me come pick up your stuff. Like lay it out on your porch, whatever you need to do, bubble wrap, packing paper, boxes. And I actually had a local florist save for me all their boxes out of their entire Christmas shipment that came into this flower shop. So I'm good on boxes for a little bit, and they saved me bubble wrap. And I mean, if I had ordered this stuff, it would have been a couple $100 worth of packing supplies. So like definitely put out to your friends that you will collect their boxes for free.
Richard, you're killing me.
I'm sorry, Kat. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on with my internet. It's killing me right now.
Okay, I'll talk while Kat's getting this straightened out.
I'm done. We're straight.
Okay. So
for now,
boxes, I use my quarterly coupon. I've got the whichever store it is that gets the 25 every quarter. And then my husband buys me smileys. I get a smiley every day. So that's a box a day coming from somewhere. So he saves them for me and everything. And then the one dumpster diving that I do, it's the only dumpster diving that I do. And I've told my secret out loud quite a few times, but there's a place that's been consistent for 10, 15 years. And they get in baby clothes. And so they take off all the little, like, if you've ever done retail, some places send you things on their little hangers and little plastic covers. They take everything off the hangers and they take all those plastic things off and they just put them in these big trash bags with no other trash. They'll put the hangers in one and they'll put all these little baggies. And I've got one out in my car now that I picked up on the way from home tonight from the grocery store, because every Tuesday is when they fill it up. So anyways, every Tuesday I go hit it. So I've got all that packing material. I recycle everything. Now I will say, since I've started live sales, that's a lot. We might sell 30 items in one night. For instance, when Kat and I just did the jewelry sale with Selena, that went really well. And I realized, I don't have little boxes. I don't have enough little boxes for shipping. So I had to hurry up and buy some. I found a good deal on little boxes. I personally use 3RB, and I personally buy everything off of eBay, because that's where I sell. You know, that's the platform versus Amazon. So I hope I'm not being a brat by saying that, but
No, that's where I try. Like I said, the only
Yeah.
time I do Amazon is if I'm in a serious time crunch and need like Prime.
Right.
I'll only order like 25 boxes to get them like really fast.
Right. But I got a really good deal. I try not to pay more than 35 cents for a box. So
Yeah.
I buy most of my boxes online. I was using ones that I'd go out and source for, but then I started switching that. I just didn't feel it was professional to be shipping out something to somebody with something else on. I know a lot of people have different things about that, but I just prefer not to do that. I just purchase my boxes, and then when I have an item that then I go out and just buy one of those one-off ones that I need. Like I got a lot of stereo equipment now that I've been listing and been selling. So those type of things, I want the bigger, heavier, stronger boxes. And then plus two, I use the eBay coupon. I use those mainly for the padded envelopes and the poly mailers. I usually use them for the smaller ones and the bigger ones.
Yeah, I shipped a whole punch out today in a beef jerky box, Richard. So I'm not with you. Like we get everything Amazon Prime that we can, including beef jerky. And the beef jerky box was the exact same size of the whole punch I sold today. I was so happy. I was like, bro, look, it's meant to be. So the only thing somebody cautioned me about, because a lot of the boxes I was getting from auction were actually liquor boxes, and it can be illegal to ship liquor to some states. So either cover up if you're reusing liquor boxes or don't reuse those. Miss D wants to know, if the buyer pays priority, but you realize that it's oversized and you want to ship FedEx or UPS, is that a downgrade, and do you notify them?
Okay, first of all, I think that most people feel like you have just upgraded them because I will message and I'll say, hey, do you mind if I upgrade this to like, tell them it's an upgrade. Buyers believe whatever you tell them, not to be ugly, but it's just the truth. So I'd like to upgrade this to FedEx or UPS. Is that okay with you? Is this address still okay? Because that is one word of caution is not all addresses are serviceable by FedEx or UPS. Even if it shows up as serviceable by them, there are plenty of people, like I live in a very rural area. I live on a dirt road, and a FedEx and UPS come here, but there are some areas in our town where they don't go. So you would just want to send the buyer a message, because if it got there as non-deliverable, it would only be your fault. And chances are, if you mailed at FedEx, it's going to be $27 because it's always $27. So you don't want to have to pay for shipping there and shipping back because you didn't take the time to go ahead and touch base with them. But I have absolutely changed it, and I have never had a buyer tell me, no, don't change it. Most of the time they say, oh, wow, thanks so much for the upgrade.
Most of my listings will say I'm going to ship UPS, FedEx, or UPS. The three. Most of my listings say that at the bottom. Can we still? We used to be able to put the options. I don't know if we can still do that.
You can add a second option for them.
That might be what it is.
Not all three, though.
I haven't had problems so far with anybody saying, Now, one thing you do need to know is if you don't put it in a UPS priority box, if you're going to switch it over to FedEx. So know that.
Yes.
I've only had that happen one time. I do calculated shipping, but I also offer priority shipping. I've only had that happen one time where they've actually opted in to do the priority shipping. So I actually shipped it priority. One advantage I have here living in Missouri is I find a lot of times it's actually cheaper for me to ship it priority than it is to ship it ground.
Because you're in the middle. Yeah,
that's
you're right.
In Missouri.
Yes. So that's a big plus for me. So I think one of the things that I'm learning as a reseller is to making sure, especially on some of these questionable items, the packing, what I'm going to use to pack it and everything like that, and what it's going to cost to actually pack it and ship it out, and try to keep that cost down to try to get underbid these other resellers that are selling from the East and the West Coast. Sorry, Kat.
Yeah, no, and that's an advantage for sure for those of you in the middle of the country, because like for me in Florida to somebody in California or Oregon, it's going to cost them a lot for shipping for me because I do calculate it. I do not do what Rachel said. I don't contact them. I just switch them, but I have never had one come back. I did though one of my thrift boxes, and it was one of my members. I needed to switch her to UPS, and she had put the post office box, so I had to reach out to her and say, hey, I really need to use UPS. And she gave it to me and we did it. I don't consider it a downgrade. The only thing eBay cares about is that it is getting there by the promised date. That's your big thing to worry about. So typically your FedEx home and UPS ground are going to get there in the same amount of time as priority, sometimes before. So that's why I don't notify them. As long as it's there by that date, then you should be fine. But like Rachel said, if you want to contact them and they might consider that an upgrade, especially coming into the holidays, chances are FedEx and UPS are probably going to be a little bit faster than USPS, unfortunately. But I don't notify them. Now, if you did like from priority to ground, which would add 3 or 4 days to their shipment, you cannot do that. You are not allowed to downgrade. You can, I feel like FedEx UPS is kind of unilateral. You can go like the same, but you cannot make it less. Miss Marcia is helping with some links in the chat and sent me a $10 super chat. Nice. Thank you so much. I will give you a vote. Super chat. And Miss Marcia's mom manages one of my favorite thrift stores down in Wildwood, Florida, and was in my last video. And her mom designed the whole thrift store. It got like totally remodeled and looks like a boutique, and it's a thrift store, but nice. with thrift store prices, which is a nice thing. The Kitschy Corner question: booth or flea market / shows, which do you feel is best?
I don't have personal experience with either, but I'm looking forward to like this clothing line, this vintage redesign clothing line that I've been working on. And I will be looking at doing shows because in my area anyway, it's not advantageous for me to like a booth or a flea market, the price per week comparison with the traffic there, like the foot traffic of people that might actually come in wanting my item. It's just not advantageous. But for shows, like if I hook up with a clothing show or a vintage clothing show, I know that every person that walks by is looking for my item. So I guess it depends on what you sell, but I'm not really into booths or flea markets here because the cost is too high. I'm probably the oldest in here, so I go way back to the 80s, you guys. I have done so many shows, and so I'm older now, and I just don't have the energy. I really don't. But they were super fun. If you have an inclination to do them, do it. Super fun. You're going to meet some of the coolest people. You're going to network and get tips. You're going to find other sourcing opportunities. It is fun. I can say that. Now I kind of have a booth, and it took me a while to go back to even doing that, to have a booth. Because when I did do flea markets back in the day, they were only open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we had big booths, you guys, and we hired people, we had employees, and so we would source and stock during the week, and then we would all work it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right? So I wasn't tied down. Now, when I went into the antique mall, when I went and started doing that again a year and a half ago, those of you that follow me know the story. It was hard on me at first because I was like, what? I just take all my babies and I just set them here and I leave? Like, who's going to watch them? I just opened. No, it was fine. So for me, at this point in my life, because I have so much else to do, I like the booth. And so far, I've not had a lot. The only breakage I had was me. I had no theft, which is kind of, my turn's coming. It's not a matter of if, it's when. I do know that. But it's been, I haven't had any problems. I'm getting ready to build another booth. So I'm going to say booth, okay? If it's the kind where you can just drag and drop.
And let me talk this a little bit more. The reason I decided to go ahead and do booths again, besides, it's kind of in my young blood, is because there were a lot of things I'd see at the thrift store, and I'm like, oh, that is so cool, but I don't want to ship it. It's not really that much of a moneymaker to put on eBay and whatever. But, I want to save it. So I said, I'm going to go get a booth. Now, do I make most of my money on the booths? No way, but it's fun, and I made enough to make it worthwhile. It's fun videos. It makes for more fun thrifting. So that's my take on it.
I'm part-time, so I'm strictly eBay, but I have been looking into getting an antique booth. I don't think I'd ever do flea markets. I just don't have the time for it. But the booth sounds appealing to me, where you can just drop off the inventory. You can see what's selling, things like that. So I've actually been looking into those and talking to them and everything like that. So probably after the first of the year, I might actually be opening one up.
Nice.
Yeah, for me, neither. I checked into the booths near me, and there are only about 3 or 4 antique malls within 45 minutes of me. All have wait lists of over 50 people. So that's why I haven't done that. And the flea market and shows is the same thing. Richard says, I don't have time. I don't have time to pick stuff out, to load it up, to go set it up for just 2 days, and then load it back up again and haul it back home. And I don't have time to sit still for 8 hours. I'm always like, go, 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 go. So I wouldn't have time. And I would be one of those people that I'm like, I can sell it for this much on eBay, and people at the flea market would hate me because I know what I could get for it online. So I just stay out of that and sell it on eBay for what I know I can get for it. And with my excess stuff, I give it away. If it's not worth me listing and selling, I give it away for free. I'm thinking about just redonating. I haven't done that in the past. I actually had people who came and I would like load up their truck with stuff, but they were kind of inconsistent as far as reliability. So I think I might start like filling my trunk up to like drop stuff off when I'm going thrifting at the different thrift stores that I'm going to. I think this is to you, Richard. Amy wants to know 12 lots of what?
Maybe she's talking about the 22 lots. I don't know. Did I put
was it
something wrong in the
22?
thumbnail?
Your ones that you sold after a year. She's wanting to know what was it.
They were some kind of soccer. I was talking to my son. He's big into soccer. He was picking up my grandson before we went live. They have something to do, some kind of strap for like the laces or something like that. Yeah, I picked them up on RA like well over a year ago. I paid 25 cents each for them. I wadded them into 2 lots, and somebody came today. They've been sitting out there. Nothing. Somebody came today and bought all 12 lots. So
yeah, what, $125, right?
What's that?
It was $125, right?
Yeah, it was with what they're paying into it with fees and everything like that, it's like 132 or something like that.
Yeah,
which was nice.
Miss Gayleen wants to know if you have a buyer request to cancel an order because they bought by mistake, do you block those buyers after canceling?
I think you're supposed to rent a billboard and put the buyer's name up there so that everyone can buy. I'm like halfway kidding. Let me tell you how much patience I have for buyers that don't pay or want to cancel. Daily Refinement has a video out that explains this way better than I could because everyone questions it when I explain it. But when a buyer cancels an order or never pays for an order, eBay credits your variable portion of fees. And there's this 1 30-cent fee. It's a processing fee that is not in that variable portion. So every time a buyer does this, it costs you 30 cents. 3 of those a week is $52 a year. 6 of those a week, which is more like I have lately, is over $100 a year. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have people cancel like because they bought by mistake. I have people just not pay. I guess I haven't went back and actually blocked them, but I let it go through eBay's entire process to report them as a non-paying bidder because I have my account blocked, and I would encourage you guys to block non-paying buyers. If a buyer has, I think, 2 in the non-paying
You can pick. You can do like 1, 2, 3, or like I think you can pick how many you want to block. Like you can block them for only 1. I have mine set up for 2.
And I think
they have more than 2.
I think 2 might be the lowest, but I'm with you, Kat. Like I have no patience for that kind of stuff. It takes too much time, and if it's 30 cents a time, so go in there and block people that are repetitive, non-paying buyers. I don't block them, but maybe I should, Galen. Maybe I should.
I don't manually go and block them for just that reason. I do have my things set up. If you're a bad buyer, you have a history of it. If they ask to cancel, though, I might let it ride. Like Rachel said, I might just let it ride and let them, make sure they take a hit. But I feel like if I put in buyer requested to cancel, I feel like they're going to take a hit anyways eventually. I'm trusting eBay to monitor the situation, that eventually, and if they're habitual, that eventually they're going to be blocked anyways by the settings that I have. Now, if someone is abusive, then I'm manually going to go block them. I don't want to talk to them no more. I don't want them around, if they're verbally abusive.
I've never really experienced that. I've had some cancellations. I've had a couple that said they bought it by mistake. Like, that's fine. I'll go ahead and cancel it. I guess what the biggest thing that bothers me is when somebody gets an item and they bought it, you ship it and they get it. And then they said, well, I made a mistake. I want to return it. I'm all like, okay, well, if you do 30-day returns, you have no choice. You accept it, and then I always check the item once I get it back to make sure it hasn't been opened or anything like that, and I don't refund the shipping back.
Yeah, I don't either, and I don't go block them for them asking to cancel. The ones I block are the ones asking me 15 questions on an $8 item. After number 5, you are now going to not buy this $8 item or anything else for me ever. Because that's like a return waiting to happen. So if they're hitting me with questions, I'm like, nope, because they're just, like I said, I feel like it's a return waiting to happen. But the cancellations, I kind of just accept the cancellation and move on. But I do block, like Rachel was saying, I have it set up. Now, I think when I was live Friday, it happened while I was live. Somebody messaged me and said, hey, I'm blocked. I got locked out of my account. That's why I have 2 non-paying bidder strikes. I would really like to bid on your item. And they have an exemption list, and I showed that live Friday night. So if they take the time to reach out to me and say, hey, I know I'm blocked. I know why. I'm really interested in your item. I'm going to pay. I add them to the exemption list. And I probably have like 15 people that have come to me and asked me to do that. And the funny thing with that one is then they sent me a lowball offer and I declined. So I allowed them to make an offer and then I declined it and they never came back. But I did allow them because I feel like if they take the time to message you and explain, like that one said, hey, I was locked out of my eBay account and I guess had open orders at that time. And all of the people I've added to the exempt list have paid immediately, just an FYI for you guys. So if they go out their way to I think having those settings is good, but if they go out of your way and contact you, I haven't had any issues. It's right under the block list. There's an exemption list on eBay and you can kind of let them out of that. Miss Betty, when listing on eBay, do you use a template for like objects? I tried it, but it doesn't work for me. I think I'm doing something wrong.
I don't use any templates. I never have. But let me tell you what my description looks like. I would, describe like the title, I put in as many keywords as possible. Pretty much anything a buyer is going to use to search for that item is in my title. So, eBay pre-populates the title into the description. And then following the description, I have a copy and paste saved to the clipboard on my phone that says every single time, ships fast, please see all photos, thanks and God bless. That is my entire description, and I'm doing just fine with that. I used to write like paragraphs long of where you could wear this and where the holes are and what the wash was of the denim. Nobody cares. They're not reading it. in the time that it takes you to write that flowery description, you could be listing something else. So I don't do templates. I sell similar off of sold items as much as possible. But more than anything, I just like, if I have a pile of shirts I'm going to list, I've been doing this long enough. I know how much I want for those shirts. So just start a new listing if you need to. I don't use templates.
I do have quite a few templates, a lot actually. But here's the problem. Now I mostly use my iPhone. The iPhones are, well, smartphones are so great. The photos load fast. They're great. You can edit your photo. I mean, you can just do everything. So like Rachel, I also went into my phone and made the text shortcuts where I just type in like ZZ and it, boom, it's going to put in like my template for measurements if I want to use that, or what I want to say about my shipping. You just press a couple whatever and it just auto fills it. And I will use Sell Similar. I will try, if I know that I'm not going to use my computer, which I rarely do now for listing, I'll try to group things together. And then that way I can sell similar off my own, even, off my own listing. But I don't know why templates for like objects. I don't know. Maybe talk to one of us that's willing to help you you can, me if you want to, Instagram or Facebook, and maybe we can help take a look at it behind the scenes and see what's going wrong.
For me, no, I don't use templates. I use Sell Similar a lot. And a lot of times I'll just go look up comps. And if I can find a comp that for the same item, I'll go ahead and utilize that and then just go through and edit that. But templates, no.
Yeah, I do not either. And I think if you have been watching me for any point of time, I am with Rachel. I don't even copy and paste anything. My title is my description and that is it. And I agree with Rachel. I don't feel like people read it. And I just had a case on Poshmark that was cited for me because the buyer didn't read the title that was copied into the description, that it was a size small long. And they bought it and said, no, I ordered a small. And I'm like, no, like the only size I had was small long. It's in the description. And Poshmark sided with me. Now on eBay, that would have been a return. So that's where I give Poshmark a little thumbs up for that, because they bought what I said they bought, but they don't read. And the problem is when you do Sell Similar, which is how I list everything, make sure you change those specifics, because some people, I've accidentally, like my shirt's a large, I leave large in the title, it's in my description, but in the specifics, it says a medium. Well, guess what? That one person searching by those specifics, filtered by medium, they buy my shirt and they call me out on it, and it's my fault because I had medium. So they didn't look at the pictures, they didn't read the title, they didn't read the description. Like there's a picture of the tag saying large. They just looked by that one item specific, and people do that. So I don't do the template thing because I think most people are probably looking on their phone shopping nowadays. So most templates aren't even going to be like fully visible when they're shopping. So I could see maybe copy and pasting if you want to do measurements. I do not do clothing measurements at all. My only description is if there's a flaw in it. So Yvonne, though, sounds like she knows templates and might be able to help you off of here if you want to learn about them. I did back in like 1999. I had templates, but now I don't. I had like cute little borders and, because that's when everybody was just viewing on the computer. Deb, Yvonne said there was an allotment of auctions. eBay will give you so many auctions for free each month, and then you don't pay that insertion fee. I believe that's what she was referring to, right, Yvonne?
Yeah, you get so many, depending on your store level, you get so many fixed priced and so many auctions that for free, listing each month. So, and they just upped it, late last year, they just upped it a lot for the size store I have. I get 1,000 and 1,000, and my store, I've never ever had more than 500 items in my store. So
yeah, and I tried, and I need to do it again, because like Yvonne said, I really feel like if you put 1 or 2 or 3 items on auction and you're getting bids, they're popular items, it's going to drive the traffic up to your buy it now items. I used to try and keep at least 1 or 2 open. I haven't been good about doing that, but I do think that kind of brings more attention to your store. Deborah G wants to know, how do you utilize Instagram? I sell on eBay, Mercari, Poshmark, and Facebook Marketplace and would like to add Instagram into the mix, but I am unsure how.
So I utilize Instagram and reselling more from the seller perspective, from like as a reseller, but you can open a separate Instagram account. And I touched a little bit about the vintage redesign clothing line that I'm having. So I already have a storefront for that that's reserved. I just went in and reserved that name, and there are shops on Instagram. So it's much like Facebook Marketplace. Down right below your profile picture, there's going to be an option there to shop, and you can search shops on Instagram as well. So I'm not really sure exactly what the fees are on that as of right now. I mean, Instagram is owned by Facebook, so I would assume that they're going to be comparable. But people can buy directly on Instagram. And I've purchased items on Instagram before. It can pre-populate all of the buyer's info, which is super, super easy. If you're not reaching out as a reseller on Instagram, though, I know your question is more geared about how to sell on Instagram, but I would just invite anyone that is not already part of the reseller Instagram community to get involved, because like doing reselling by myself was fun, but now doing it with you guys as coworkers is like incredible and life-changing. So if you're not reaching out to people and becoming part of the community on Instagram, please do.
Richard?
I'm not on Instagram. So I
I know I
answer.
tried to find you today, Richard, and I was like, oh, he's not on Instagram.
Today is the day, Richard.
I don't know. It was hard enough for me to get a Facebook account.
Forget Facebook. Get on Instagram.
You guys, you skipped me.
No, I was just calling him out because he doesn't have Instagram.
She knows. She knows I don't have it.
Oh, because you don't have Instagram. I've had like Danny the niche lady. I was like, get your butt on Instagram. What are you doing?
Yes.
How do you utilize Instagram? Yeah, everything Rachel just said, and there's even some groups you can join that kind of focus mostly on selling on Instagram, either live sales or stores. And there's a lot of new features Instagram has rolled out. I haven't started adding that in. I do have a separate account where I would like post things and say this is available in my eBay store, but it's just a lot to do. I use Instagram personally just to promote my YouTube, truthfully, and I would be 100% happy to do everything on YouTube. YouTube keeps giving us more features, and I wish they would give us more of a forum aspect, a place where we could trade pictures and stuff. And then I would leave Facebook and Instagram altogether and just stick with YouTube. YouTube did give us the community tab, but there are certain devices that we can't participate with the community tab. So they still have some catching up to do. That's how I personally utilize Instagram at this moment. It's great for networking. I follow a lot of accounts for the bolos. I take in a lot of YouTube content and follow a lot of people on Instagram for the bolos. Man, just a wealth of information. You don't have to pay for anything. There's just a wealth of information.
Yes. Richard has nothing to say on this subject.
He's coming. He's going to do it. No
Instagram.
I do what Rachel and Yvonne said. I have not sold on there. I have, we've had a couple of guests on the show that do live sales on Instagram and have done well. Mm-hmm. I use it for the same reason these ladies do. I actually use it for my YouTube for teaching. I try to put out 3 to 5 bolos a day, and I put out 2 to 3 motivational quotes a day to kind of just bring people up. Just like building my community. So for me, it isn't to sell. I am there to like kind of further enhance my community, and people can message me on there with questions. I share the bolos there. I post if I have a new video, and like when we're going live, I put that on the stories, but I haven't utilized, I think you can actually like post your Facebook store into Instagram. I think because they're owned by the same, you can actually like kind of merge them. But I don't feel like I have very trendy stuff that might necessarily sell on Instagram. I don't know. I haven't wanted to try it. I think 4 platforms for me is plenty enough. I see a new member, and then we will get back to the questions. Let me see who this is down here joining. I got to scroll. I'm about 30 minutes behind already, guys. It is Kimberly Carlson. Thank you so much for joining. This is our different dolphin. Here you go.
Welcome to the flipping family.
Welcome. You guys like that?
I love it.
I did.
Emily Conway is the voice of the dolphin, for those of you that do not know. I think she does a live, and she's been doing a lot more TikTok stuff too. Oh, if you guys are on TikTok, I'm on TikTok. Follow me.
It's
yours, Flipper.
I forget, but I'm there.
I'm there. I've been doing daily TikToks for the last 4 days. Daily TikToks. They're much easier than YouTube. I like them a lot. I could probably do like 5 TikToks.
Put those TikToks on Instagram as Reels, Kat.
I do.
Okay.
They're there.
Okay.
I do my TikTok goes to TikTok, to Instagram Reels, and to YouTube Shorts.
Perfect.
That's
if I'm doing the work, it's going everywhere.
That's a good point. Let's add this in there. Now, it's not selling, but also you can link your Instagram also to your Facebook, and everything that you post on your Instagram can automatically go over to your Facebook. So if you're looking to do some really heavy promotion on all the platforms, you did to catch all the demographics. So I forgot about that. That was a good point too, Rachel.
Yes. Sunshine Reseller said they sold something, it got delivered, they received it back, returned to sender. They contacted the buyer hasn't responded. Would you return the cost of the item less the postage? I relisted already.
I guess there wouldn't be any harm in returning the cost of the item. I don't know if you would want to, if this is on eBay anyway, if you would want to formally do a return though. I mean, if you're just giving them back their money, that may never show that you formally returned it, and they may have, recourse later and tell you that they never received the item. I definitely, without a doubt, would not return their postage, because we're not friends. This is business, and I'm not paying $12 to mail you something because you gave me the wrong address. Right. I think Kat is probably the one I learned that from. This is business. She's very hard-nosed when it comes to it. And so I learned that from her.
That's odd. I would consider that a potential bonus. I'm just going to set it aside for a while. I'm not going to say anything. If they don't contact me after a certain period of time, I'm going to relist it and resell it.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
I've actually had that happen one time to me. It got basically said it was delivered, but the buyer reached out to me early on and said he no longer needed the item, so it got delivered to the post office. Said it was delivered. He never claimed it. It got sent back to me. I gave him the money back for the item, but I did not refund him back the money for the shipping.
So I would not refund them their money back until they contact you. Like Rachel said, I feel like they need to open a formal return. Otherwise, they could still give you negative feedback. You aren't protected. I had that happen, and I didn't return the money, and they left me positive feedback. I got the item back.
Does that make you wonder how much they ordered?
Yeah, they bought a lot, didn't they?
But if they don't open a return, I wouldn't refund them if they're not answering you. That would be my number one. I would say, hey, I got it back. Either you need to pay for shipping again, or you can buy it again, or open a return and you won't need to send it back. I already have it, and I'll immediately refund you the money. I do that on stuff that is my fault, like shipping mishaps. I make them open that return because I know if they go leave me negative feedback, eBay's going to remove it. So I'm like, look, I'm not going to make you ship it back. Just open a return and I will immediately give you a refund. I did that today for something. It was like a $5 item. They got, I mismeasured. I tape measure and everything, mismeasured. They said, I want the right size. I'm like, that's the only size I have. Just open a return. You can keep it, throw it away, do whatever you want with it. It's not worth the $5. And I refunded them the money. I do not refund the shipping because eBay will cover that if you are a power seller with free 30-day return. So eBay gave them their shipping back. So, This might be interesting and we might have different answers. Road Tripper, Thrifter, Flipper, I've got your name down pat now, by the way, says, do you think Beanie Babies are worth anything?
I think they might be cheaper than bubble wrap if you needed packing material. Like, no, I don't think that they're worth anything. I've seen 12 Princess Diana Beanie Babies, and that's supposed to be the grail. And guess what they were worth? Like $5. No, I don't think they're worth anything.
Supposedly there's a few rare ones with some misstamping on the tag or something. I don't know. I don't mess with them. I have a couple that my husband bought me because they're smiley face or mermaid related, but I can remember my neighbor spending a ton of money on those. I can remember, but yeah. So I don't know. Do we really need to, like, just a reminder if there's anybody new, you girls? I don't know what happened to Richard. Let's just
the money laundering.
Well, yeah, when you go look up the Disney Diamond VHSs or the Beanie Babies or whatever else is going on currently, and you see they sold, there's something else going on there, okay?
So I am going to go against them and say, and that Richard, you can answer last now. Hold your horses. They are not worth much. I bought 150 of them though for $50, so I was 30 cents in. And I have sold every single one of those 150 for $9.99 free shipping. So I turned 30 cents into $5. So in quantity, now was I trying to look up and, it has a misprint. And some of them did. I finally said, forget this. And they were all, no matter what the heck they were, $9.99 free shipping, which is about $3.50. They're really light. And they all sold. And that's like my DVDs that I make $3 to $5 profit. That's all quantity. And Beanie Babies is front, back. You're done. Throw it in a poly mailer. It's out just like a DVD. So it's really easy. And for me, that was quantity. So I would say if you can buy them for like a quarter or 50 cents, knowing that you're going to make $5, don't think you're going to find a $5. That's, in my experience, that is not. I sold a few for like $20. But that's like 3 out of the 150, mind you. So when I was searching to sell as similar, I would, if I saw like, all of these are selling for $20, I would go above the $9.99. But so they're not worth a lot, but they can be worth $5. Richard, what do you have to say about Beanie Babies?
I stay away from Beanie Babies. I think this is like when somebody starts reselling, they seem to look up these comps and they say, oh my God, these Beanie Babies are selling for this much. You learn they don't sell. They don't sell.
Not for that much. They will sell for $9.99 free shipping, but they will not sell for much more than that.
You can make money on them if you get a big lot of them and you lot them up and just get rid of them. But yeah, for the most part, no. I see Beanie Babies and I run.
Road Tripper, Thrifter, Flipper, is it okay to use newspaper to wrap items to mail?
My biggest concern would be the newsprint, the ink coming off onto the item. So every item that I have, I'm still like old school. I use Walmart spread bags for every one of my items. So if you're wrapping the item in something that would keep that newspaper ink away from it, because the time you think it's not going to come off, it's going to be exposed to heat and humidity and who knows what else in these mail trucks. The newsprint is going to come off on your item. So I don't even use colored tissue paper for that reason. If I'm going to use a tissue paper, it's white. But packing paper is your best bet. That's what it's designed for. And even as far as my thank you cards, I have like these little business card style thank you cards. And on the back, I may write something. If I write something on the back and include it in that bag, I put it writing side out. Because again, as soon as that ink heats up or is humid, like the item wasn't damaged when you sent it out, but you've just lost all your profits because you damaged the item in shipping.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I got exactly that. Exactly.
I think you got to go the opposite way.
Use the bread bags. We've all been using them for years. I think they're still under $3. I also buy different sizes by the roll. I don't talk about that much, but there's another way to get a good deal. But yeah, she's right. That stuff, I don't even like at the thrift store for them to wrap stuff in the newspaper. It's all over my item, all over my hands. And then also, I want to stress what Rachel said about the colored tissue paper. Like eBay will give us their tissue paper that's all colored. I'm like, great. Now I can only use it, for like you can't wrap up the item with that tissue paper. So yeah, everything she said, I agree.
I don't use newspaper. I never have. I've always used packing paper. But one thing I got off of what Rachel said is I actually put a thank you card and I actually sign every one of them and put it in there. And I do put it on the item, but that ink coming.
Is Richard frozen?
Richard's internet hates him.
So. I think he's frozen.
Richard, come back to us. Richard is frozen. Maybe he'll come back and then I'm going to have to switch everybody around. I will say, first of all, I really hope you're not meaning a breakable, because packing an item that is breakable in newspaper like you would in a packing box is definitely not okay. It is not going to make it there safely. It is not it's not going to be okay. So if you're talking about breakables, here he goes, going to mess me up. Richard.
Sorry. I don't know what happened. Where did I freeze up at?
Musical people.
You're talking about.
So if you mean for a breakable, absolutely not. You need bubble wrap. And I use actually blank newsprint is what I use for packing paper. I buy 1,000-foot roll. I tear off what I need and I put it in there. I am not a wrap your item in tissue paper or make it pretty kind of person. That is just not me. So mine is wrapped in bubble wrap. And then now I will use paper wrap to stuff around the outside of the bubble wrap because my item's already encased in bubble wrap. So if I happen to get, some newspaper from the thrift store, then I will use that. Today I use newspaper to stuff shoes I was taking pictures of. So I keep the newspaper and kind of reuse it. Let me see. I see 2 super chats. Oh yeah, show.
Know what the bread bags were.
Oh yeah, let me make you big. She means like sandwich bags.
Yeah,
they literally say bread bags.
They're about this size. They're good for smaller things in t-shirts.
I never knew they were called that. You guys have educated me.
You know what? They're really not called bread bags. We all started calling them bread bags because they have pictures of like bread and bagel.
They used to be
don't have any Ziploc or anything, so they're $100 for under $3, at least in my area. So what is that?
Oh, that's awesome.
3 cents.
3 cents. Yeah.
They come with the twist ties, with the bread ties too. They're called
they're in there somewhere. I usually just get rid of them, and they do. One thing about this, if you're talking Amazon, be careful because sometimes you'll get boxes that don't have the
suffocation
warning. Sometimes you'll get some in certain areas that don't have it. So if we're talking Amazon, pay attention to that. But this is what, this is what Rachel was talking about. This is pretty much something that most of us that have been reselling for a while. We all kind of pass this info around, and I do have some more great info on how to get bags that are about 2.5 cents a piece and a little bit cheaper. They're over there, but we'll talk about that if we have time, or I'll talk about it on my channel. Oh, where are they at? Okay, where the Ziplocs and stuff and help me, you guys.
At Walmart, like the lunch bags, the paper lunch sacks are there too, stuff like that.
At the bottom, they're not Ziploc, okay?
No,
they should be.
They're where they are though.
Huh?
I said they're in that same area though, right?
Yeah. But we're not talking about the Ziploc because those cost more.
And I don't think
cheap. Find the cheap bags.
I don't think they look as good either. I think a Ziploc looks like very unprofessional in comparison with these that are actually cheaper.
The Ziploc makes me think of food. No offense, Kat, in the beef jerky box.
Whatever. At least it was an office product, so it wasn't like a shirt or something. All right. Amy sent a $2.99 super sticker, and then I think I saw 2 more super chats. So we're going to do a round of dolphins. Amy, thank you so much.
Welcome to the flipping family.
Welcome.
And then, I gave you a welcome. I moved my links all around when I changed my intro. I gave her the wrong dolphin. Okay. I'm going to hit the right dolphin this time. Random Chick Picker says, happy Tuesday. She's happy she has not missed this live. I'm happy you were here as well. Here is it's the right dolphin. This is the right dolphin.
Super chat.
Mark is sending Richard's weekly dolphin, and he's trying to help Richard get better internet. So, Richard, this dolphin is for you from Mark.
Super chat.
Miss Corey.
I actually signed up for a Starlink. I'm just waiting for my equipment to come.
Good. Miss Corey has her feet up at the pool and sent us a blank $4.99. So, Miss Corey, here is your dolphin.
Super chat.
Ours has been much better since we switched to whatever we switched to. I'm not in charge of that, but like my videos are uploading way faster than even people with wired internet here lately. So I've been happy with my stuff for sure. We use like a Verizon SIM card and some little thing, and then we have an antenna on the house. We're in the middle of nowhere. Clay, I saw the hey cat and now I can't find it. I'll highlight Clay saying hi to Sunny. Clay is a good friend of mine in Texas. Thank you for joining us, Clay, and Sunny. He's saying hi to Sunny, Las Vegas Thrifts. There we go. Thank you guys both for being here. Both of those have been around my channel since the very, very beginning and have supported me throughout my whole journey, as well as Richard. Richard's been over here before 1,000 subscribers as well. So, yeah. Does anybody know the answer to Miss Nancy's question? I don't know if anybody answered in the chat. She's asking if USPS has started charging for tracking. I will say real quick, the only time I've ever heard of them charging for tracking is if you want it on a first, like a envelope. You can pay like 50 cents to put tracking on an envelope. But other than that, I haven't seen any issues.
I haven't either.
No, not unless you're going actually into the post office and trying to ship your items that way. Then if you need tracking.
I still think it's included as long as it's priority.
Well, yeah, as long as it's priority. But if you basically send something out that's not priority and want tracking, they're going to charge you.
Yeah. If it's not priority, you might. Miss Donella wants to know if any of us use anything like an Excel spreadsheet to track your items, like what you paid versus what it sold for, or does eBay basically have that on their site?
I'm going to grow up and be a big girl like that one day. Maybe next year, like I feel like next year would be a great time to start doing that. My thrift stores are pretty basic as far as what things cost me, and I can remember what they are, but this is a good idea. And I would encourage anyone that wants to do this to do it sooner than later. Get on top of it before you're in my position. You're like, who wants to go back and do 1,400 items? Let's do it now.
I don't, but I have a caveat. I just rely on eBay. To me, pretty much it's eBay has my inventory. At the end of the year, PayPal or anytime, PayPal has my money, listed, including my live sales. But for the booth, I need to put on my big girl panties too, because although they will track my sales, I want to monitor theft, right? Just to be sure that I don't forget. And so I'm going to put, a stock number on my labels and put it on an Excel spreadsheet. I'm not happy about it, but that's part of being a big girl or a big boy in business. So yeah. Take Rachel's advice. If you're gonna be professional and have a lot, you might want to go ahead and start. But if it's just eBay, I never have more than 500 items in my eBay store. So
for me, no, I don't use a spreadsheet. What I do a lot of times is if I when I pay for an item, I'll note that in this custom SKU along with where I put the item. And the reason I do that is just so that when I do like my what solds, I know exactly what I paid for the item. But other than that, I keep track of my receipts and they go into an envelope and that. No, I don't track on a spreadsheet or anything like that.
I'm going to say I am grown up and I don't do a spreadsheet, and I think it's a waste of time.
It's
I
kind
will
of
tell
redundant
you-
in some instances.
No, but you have to do what works for you, because there are a lot of resellers that do it. But I'm going to tell you, like, my accounting method is money in, money out. Like,
Yep.
that's how my accountant files my taxes. It's not on like each individual item. I remember, and I can always look up, like I'm going to turn it around, not show my address this time, Richard. I have my invoices sitting here, a stack of them from high bid auctions, where if I do forget what that lot cost me, when I go to list it down the road, I can look at my invoices, because 90% of my stuff is from online auctions. But I also know, like, at the thrifts I go to, I pay $1 for a piece of clothing, and the boutique is $4.
Mhm.
So I know, like, what I would pay for something. But I think, just like Rachel, what were we saying before? Oh, the template and the time for the, like, description. That time that you use filling out your spreadsheet and making it all cute, I could list 5 items. So
Yeah.
I'm going to make more money than you filling out your spreadsheets is my point.
My accountant's happy with what I'm doing. So
mine does money in, money out. They used to. Now that's a law that changed 3 years ago. 3 years ago, you had to have a physical inventory. So you had to have like a list of what. But 3 years ago, they changed where you can do, here's the money my business brought in, and here's the money my business put out.
well, wait a minute. You have to have a starting inventory. You do have to at least have a dollar amount starting and ending. But I don't use my spreadsheet.
But it's a rolling, like, in and out, like, for the whole year. Like, he keeps it, year to year. He's been doing my book since I started my business. So we started at 0.0, and here's how much I've spent. Here's how much I've made. Now, it could help. And, like, I had somebody asking me today saying, like, that I'm not saying, like, the exact amount of sales minus the shipping, but I don't have time. I know I pay 10%. I know I'm running 50% after fees, shipping, and cost of goods. So I know what my bottom line and average is over 2 years. So, but if you're just starting, then it could be helpful until you learn to see how much money you're making, because I think a lot of people pay too much. I'm notorious for, like, I don't pay hardly anything. I buy at 5 to 10% of what I sell for. And I saw that actually in the Death Pile Destruction group today, somebody saying they paid too much. Now they're going to list it and they're like, oh man, so I think that's where, like, comping and buying cheap is going to make your money. So if you like spreadsheets, I think Dale does spreadsheets. I'm not, like, anti spreadsheets, but spreadsheets are not for me.
We're just saying they're not 100% necessary for your taxes and your end of year, your accountant. We're just saying that. But if you're the type of person that likes to keep track
Then
of
do
things,
it. Yeah.
Oh, there's another reason why you might. Well, like for me, I want to monitor my booth for a while, because I'm not listing it on eBay, so I don't have. So I want to monitor theft for a while. There's another reason you might want to. If you're a volume seller and you're buying, like, new stuff, replenishables, you might want a spreadsheet for that, so you always know what's in stock and when it's time to reorder. If you're selling the same items, over and over, you have a good supplier. That's kind of a different scenario than most of us, but lots of resellers do that.
I'm going to assume Beth is asking this at me, since I'm the one that said I never give them their shipping cost back. She's asking, if you don't give them shipping, how many of them leave a bad review? I don't know, because I did a return and eBay is going to remove their negative. So I will never see it. I think the last time I checked, I had 12 negative feedbacks automatically removed. So they're probably doing it, but I'm never seeing it. So I don't care.
I just love that so much. I feel like that's why I like the channel so much, Kat, because there are so many sellers that will just bend over backwards to please and I'm not trying to be Walmart.
And I'm not mean by any means. And if it's my fault, I will own it. Yeah. But, like, if I know eBay's going to pay, I'm good. Is Richard frozen again?
I think
If
so.
I know
I'm back.
Oh, you're back. You're back. You're moving.
You weren't breaking or anything.
If I know eBay's going to pay, why would I not let eBay pay? You know?
Well, I think I know where Rachel's going with this. When a lot of new people are terrified of eBay and getting kicked off, they've heard the horror stories and they bend over backward to make eBay happy. But as you listen to a lot of the seasoned sellers take in some some YouTube content, you'll start to learn not to be so afraid of losing your account and afraid of eBay and like jumping through their hoops. You'll kind of relax a little bit. And it sounds hardcore. I know sometimes Kat sounds hardcore, but I get what she's saying.
I love it.
I'm very blunt. Like, it might not come across in my pre-recorded. I think anybody that's watched some of my lives know I'm very blunt. Do not ask me what I think if you don't want to know, because I'm going to tell you. I tell it how it is. Richard knows this. Richard knows this. If you've been in my eBay store reviews, like, I'm doing it to help. Like, if you really want my opinion, I'm going to give it to you, whether I think you're going to take it very nicely or not. But that's why I like doing the 4-panel, because we're all giving different opinions on it. And I like to show you can run your reseller business so many different ways. You have to find out what works for you. If you like your cute little spreadsheets, and I know a lot of people that do, that's just not me. It's not me. And write your description and make it all pretty. And I'm like, here's the item. You buy it, you don't. I ship it, and I don't wrap it all. And I get them and I'm like, oh, that's so cute. Like, I bought a purse and it was all wrapped in tissue paper with a little bow. I'm like, oh, but no, like, mine is in a box. Yeah. Marsha wants to know if anyone has looked at our storefront today. They changed the format. I'm going to go look at mine now.
Not only do I not look at it, I don't feel like anyone ever looks at the storefronts. Like, I click on someone's storefront accidentally because I clicked on their name, and then I immediately click on an item and then go to other items listed by the seller, because that's what I'm really interested in lieu of your storefront. So I wouldn't worry too much about it, because I mean, you guys give your opinion about it, but I don't feel like anyone looks at a storefront. If I'm shopping your store, I'm not looking at your storefront.
It looks way different. I just clicked on it.
No, it looks the same, huh?
No, it looks different. There's no descriptions on the left side anymore. It's like just your stuff.
Oh, our store. Oh, yeah. What's up with that?
So if somebody wanted, at the top it says shop by category though, and then they can still search. But I agree with Rachel. I don't think anyone really goes to like your storefront on eBay. I don't feel like.
It's the pop-up just says your storefront got an update. Here's what new. If you go to
mine did that too. Yeah.
Well, great.
Thanks, eBay.
No, mine just has my logo on it. That's it. I've never worried about that and didn't even care about that. Usually people are buying the item, they're searching for it, and they probably don't even care what your storefront even looks like. So John More Income said he sold a pet bed the other day with no returns, and the person contacted him, said it was too small, and he said, sorry, no returns, never heard back. So I wish I could do this, because that is so my personality. I'd be like, sorry. But my eBay fees are over $1,000 a month, and I get a 10% discount for doing free 30-day returns, which equates to over $100 a month in discount. So that business-wise is why I do it. And I have no open returns right now. I better knock on my desk. For the first time in a long time, I have no returns open. And it ends up, I get $100 credit, and it evens out. I'm saving a lot more money, but I envy the people that do no returns. I will tell you. Yeah. But they can be forced. That's my other point though. So that's why I take them. Because if they want to be smart about it, then they're going to get a return. Yeah. Miss Carla wants to know, what size store do you have, Yvon?
I finally put it up there. It's the basic store. I get 1,000. It's about $22 a month. I get 1,000 because they upped this last year. 1,000 fixed price and 1,000 auction. But here's the deal: you reach a certain point where you're like, okay, you save. What is it? of 1% off of your final value fee. So there comes a point where you're like, I'm serious. I'm selling consistently about, I think it's somewhere around $2,000 a month. I think you're selling consistently, that pays, that drop in final value fee will cover your store subscription. I'd have to do the math and see where it's at, but it's somewhere around 2,000 consistently, I believe, for sales for a basic store. And then you get the other perks with it. See, so, and it basically,
Yeah, you get your free shipping coupon and all that.
Vacation mode.
And some other perks. So
Listen, Mr. Inaman, what's Instagram? Mr. A million views over on TikTok. Kevin, I'm coming for you, buddy. It is on TikTok. It is on.
300, I think.
Me too. I think I have 300 followers. I'm coming, Kevin, slowly, like snail pace. I need an Inaman that works for TikTok followers. Kevin, come out with that concept and I'll like buy whatever the new Inaman is for TikTok. Question. eBay and Etsy collect taxes for you depending on where the seller is. How do other platforms, including live sales, work here?
Poshmark collects the taxes as well if it's required in that area. I sell on Poshmark. I don't sell live on YouTube. And I understand there's more legalities than just the taxes to selling live on YouTube. So Yvon's probably going to be the best resource for YouTube.
That's a great area, selling on YouTube, you guys. There are some states where, okay, it's technical. So far, we're all getting away with it. But I'll tell you, I'll be honest, the hammer could come down on us at any time. But like we have switched to saying, no, we don't talk about bids. We say item closed. We switched that, Kat, last month, didn't we?
Yeah, our last sale.
Now, some states you're supposed to have an auctioneer license to run auctions. So we're changing.
I heard that you only need an auctioneer license if you are selling somebody's items other than your own.
So I see
they are your items, then you do not. I don't know.
That we're working with some loopholes, okay? But yes. Now sales tax. Now that I got to set that aside myself, and I got to remit that myself on the live
only
sale.
For your state, though. Only for your state, typically. So I will say all of the online platforms, including Mercari, collect tax for Florida. There are only 40 states. If you are unlucky enough to live in one of the 10 that does not, you are legally responsible for collecting sales tax. They did not start for Florida until July this year. So I had an accounting nightmare. My accountant hated me for having to, because you had to report county by county in Florida where you sold stuff. So now for the live sales, if I sell in Florida, I would need to keep like what county that's going to, and I would need to collect the tax. I have not been charging people the tax because all of the live sales have typically been lower, but 90% of mine go out of state. So we meaning my accountant lets me know what he's filing, charge like X amount of sales in Florida tax exempt because they were collected by the platforms is how we do it. But if you're doing it like at the flea market or something, you would need to collect it yourself.
But I can tell you, this is all stuff we have to keep an eye on. You guys constantly keep an eye on to make sure we don't get ourselves in trouble.
That's why I pay an accountant.
Yeah.
Angelo is asking if any of us have done live sales or auctions on YouTube.
Not me. Nope.
When they first, okay, this is hard for me to talk about. I always sound so bratty, but I've been doing this for a long time, and the general merchandise side has always done live sales. The vintage community on Instagram and YouTube is relatively new. It's only been a couple of years, actually, since it blew up, mostly thanks to Jocelyn, Crazy Lamp Lady, and then followed by, let's say some of her friends, and then me included. At first, I wasn't that impressed. I'll be real blunt. It was like broken stuff, and I was like, they're just trying to sell their odds and ends, and I didn't want that reputation for myself, so I just kind of laid low on it. But then I saw how they evolved. They eventually evolved. They got the audience for it. There's a huge audience for it.
Yeah.
The Facebook and Instagram community that has their own little selling community, has kind of started to mingle and brought over their buyers, and it's pretty significant now, you guys. So I went ahead and joined in about 6 months ago, and it's been great. I try to bring quality stuff. I do bring budget friendly work. In some places I sell, like when I went on Misty's channel, okay, she gets like 400 to 500 buyers, viewers. I brought my big dogs. I sold something for $160. On my channel, what are we getting, Kat? We're getting about 150.
Like 20 to $50 items, I would say.
The viewers, we're getting about 150. We're getting
well. Like 150 on average in our live sales that we're doing.
We're doing well. It's only been a few months, but we're getting it built up and getting a name for ourselves. So it's fun, you guys. It is really fun. Now beware that, you think, oh, I just sold $600 in 2.5 hours. Okay. Now that might be good, but listen, then there's going to be a couple of hours of invoicing, a couple hours of shipping. So it's actually going to be, when you put all those chunks together, it's going to be a full day. And when in the beginning, it's going to be a full 2 days until you get your groove on.
Yeah, you have to keep track. And I will tell you, I'm going to be nice and hide their names. I have 2 items from our last sale that people didn't pay for.
Jewelry. The jewelry sale with Selena.
Yeah, that people did not pay for. I still have another item from our previous sale before that people didn't pay for. So that is one thing. No, nobody had them. Nobody had them. Okay, because what we're talking about is there's groups of other people that have live sales, and we're like, hey, they have their names and addresses.
Yeah, that's all. We don't gossip. We're not talking trash. We're just exchanging, like, hey, do you have Debbie Smith's,
we're trusting that the viewers are going to come in, they're going to email us like they say they are, and then we can invoice them. But like that, and then I have one up on my counter that I actually boxed up. Like I had it boxed up and nobody ever emailed me. So that's been a little frustrating for me, but it's definitely the minority. Like that's not happening a lot. But like Yvon, Yeah, I'll probably resell them on the next live show or sale. Mine and Yvonne's next sale is November 10th, I believe.
Coming up.
We're
doing once a month.
Yeah, we're doing once a month. The first Wednesday I'm off in the month, which changes because of my schedule. But I think you have to have, I don't know if you have to have an audience, because I know some smaller channels who do auctions who seem like they do well with only like 15 and 20 people in the chat. I think if you have like a good little mini community that buys from you, you could still do well.
If you just have good stuff.
Why am I saying well? Like well.
It's just like on eBay. You got to have what people want, and it doesn't matter if only 5 people show up, So
if they want it, they'll buy it.
It's a lot of fun.
Yes. I am going to answer this real quick, and then I see a super chat. I think it's from Larry. I have to be able to tell who people are when they're like this big. Fab to find, your eBay page becomes a store when you sign up for a store subscription. There's a free store subscription, and then there's like a $9.99 store subscription. So that's how your eBay page becomes a store. There's not a button, but you would subscribe for the store. Let me go down. Hold on. I have to write my time. I am 34 minutes behind. So we're going to do our speed round soon. I'm writing down the time. Let me get the super chat. If you guys do not know the backdoor of, like, they get to look in the live chat. I have to stop to get questions, which means I'm an hour behind in the chat. And we have 430 people in here that are chatting. So it's a little bit overwhelming at times. Let me grab. Look at me. I knew who Larry was when he was teeny tiny. Larry Way out, $10 super chat. Thanks for the live show, for having the Missouri resellers, Rachel and Richard. Both have been great new friends. Larry is an amazing guy. I met him in person in Cincinnati. He is really, really awesome. Larry, thank you so much for the super chat. Here is your
super chat.
We almost had 3 R's. We got Richard and Rachel. Last week, it was all D's except for me. And then everybody laughed at me because I said it was a triple D show. Mick Jodo wants to know if any of us use TikTok for reselling.
Nope.
Only to promote. I mean, only to promote that I'm a reseller and a thrifter and my YouTube.
Like Instagram, not on TikTok either.
Does that
Okay,
even work? I
so
don't even know.
I will tell you guys, Carrie, who was on my show a few weeks ago, American Arbitrage, has over 700,000 followers on TikTok. He got Kevin started. He got me started. He got NC Picker started. He is like mentoring. And it's funny because somebody added me and they're like, oh, a new reseller on the top. And I'm like, oh, yeah, Carrie got me over here. And they're like, oh, he got me here too. So Carrie is like the godfather of TikTok now, I have learned. And Carrie said he gets a lot of people that are purchasing things that they're seeing in his TikTok videos. And I put out a TikTok today on Harley shirts, and actually somebody commented and said, hey, do you have Harley shirts from different states you're selling? I've been on TikTok 4 days and they're asking me, and I'm like, hey, yeah, my eBay store name's The Nurse Flipper. I haven't seen any sales from it, but I can see where there's definite potential. And I think Gorgeous has also told me she's sold a lot of items from showing thrift hauls on TikTok to TikTok followers. So I think there's a lot of potential, especially if you're hashtagging stuff right. Like my TikTok today, I hashtagged Harley and like vintage Harley. So I'm hopefully getting those Harley people watching it. So I could see where that would hopefully, I'm on day 4 of TikTok. So I'm a very new TikToker learning. But I have a good teacher, Carrie, over at American Arbitrage. He is on YouTube too, guys. Definitely check Carrie out at American Arbitrage if you are not. He's amazing. Michael Carter, how do you answer all the questions buyers ask on eBay? Some of them are time wasters.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. Some of them are time wasters. Poshmark's even worse if you think that's bad, because Poshmark wants to know how many times you wore it and washed it and what your grandma had to say about it. It's absurd. Like some of the questions, why does it matter? But I guess I just try to give the best customer service that I can. Someone asked me today on a Revereware pot if I could clean the bottom of like the inside of the pot so that they could see it shinier. And I'm like, I will get to that as soon as I can.
I tell them if they would like to pay more. I had somebody ask me if I could test something, and I'm like, it is this cheap because it's untested. If you would like me to increase the price by $10 to $15, I will be happy to do that. And they never wrote back.
Yeah, that's some of them just are going to be a time waster. I guess it's a cost of doing business, and do the best you can. If you need to set aside 10 minutes at the end of the day to go through all your questions, might be a good option.
Yeah. Yvonne.
I think the majority, I feel like I do good descriptions, great pictures. I use all 12, but I do, my last picture usually is something that says, please let me answer any questions you may have. So, okay. So I do get some. Usually it's somebody wants a specific measurement of something that my quick descript that I've started using, that Kenneth IB Flipping Daily, you guys, if you follow me, you know what I'm talking about, doesn't quite have on there, although it's pretty extensive. Sometimes people want something like, just like from here to
How
here.
big is that smiley face?
So I'll take a picture and answer them.
3. Any more than 3, I quit corresponding with them. I'm all like, before I used to, when I first started reselling, oh, I need this measurement. I need this measurement. I need this measurement. Now I'm all like, after the 3rd one, I'm done. If they respond back, and then I just said, I don't think the product's right for you. No, I'm not going to deal with 20 million questions.
Richard gives them more than me. I will give them 2. On the 3rd, I'm going to block them from buying from me. Goodbye. If they're ridiculous, if they're pertinent, that's one thing. But I had someone the other day, I think I answered 5. I gave her an inch and she took a mile, and she asked one more and I blocked her.
Yeah, you see this? Somebody
How many
wanted
ounces
to know.
does that salt shaker
That's
hold?
what they wanted to know. So I actually
Does it screw on easily? Are the threads messed up? Can you show me the bottom?
So, yeah, that's one of the questions I got.
Oh, you guys.
I did. They wanted to know the measurement of the bottom, how tall it was. And then they go, does it hold 1 or 2 ounces? And then I was all like, well, I don't even know that. So I wanted to know. Holds 4.5 ounces.
It's never
I
a normal
like-
measurement.
After that, I was done.
It depends. Okay, let me change that. If it's $1,000 item, I will measure whatever the heck you want me to measure.
What they want.
But if it's $10,
You guys
But
are
it-
too hardcore.
It'll be weird things like, what is the
but
length
I
of
do
this
so
shed?
much volume. I have 4,000
Yeah,
items.
I know.
I don't have time. And like I will answer if it's pertinent. The clothing questions depends on my mood because I don't measure. If it's a $6 shirt, I'm probably not going to measure it. I'll let it sit there till somebody who doesn't want me to measure it wants to buy it. If it's a $25 or $30 shirt, I probably will measure it. And like I said, if it's like a $50 jacket or something, I'll go measure whatever the heck they want me to measure. But I just don't have time. And that's like the whole testing thing. Like I price, like if I do untested, like I have a bunch of film cameras right now, I'm selling for $10. I can't go buy a roll of film, buy batteries, some of them are specialty batteries, get it developed and say that it's tested, like really tested for the cost of the camera. It's a $10 camera. So I put untested. I'm not lying to them and saying I tested it because it's just not like, it doesn't make monetary sense to test that item for that's a $10 item, you know? But like I have one that's untested that most of them are $120. So I listed mine for $80. It's $40 cheaper. It looks in immaculate condition, but I don't have the urge to go buy these special batteries and special film and take pictures of whatever. Like, how do people really go buy like a whole roll of film and battery? How do you, I mean, I can test that it clicks.
I don't test it, Kat. I bought some cameras today and I will list them and I have $4 in each one. And if the buyer gets it and it doesn't work, then I'll refund them. My mistake.
But are you going to put tested?
No, I don't put either. I feel
Yeah,
like
I normally these like some of them look rough. So if they look rough, I'm putting untested as is. If they don't, I'm with you. I most of the time don't put one way or the other. But Margaret wants to know how long it took me to sell the 150 Beanie Babies. Overall, about a year. About a year. But I made my $50 back within the first month. So I was in the profit after a month, and then they just hung around and slowly sold out. Vasquez Vintage, thank you for being in the house. They have an amazing Instagram page as well. Susan Hunt would like to know if we do calculated shipping or flat rate shipping. She says she does calculated and was told her shipping is too high. I don't always know what my finished package will weigh.
If you know that it will fit into a flat rate, that's how you need to list it because the calculated shipping is always too high. It just is. And it will scare people away from your item. I mean, I have people sometimes.
Unless they live in the same state as you or they're close.
Yeah. If they're far away, though, I mean, it may only cost $15 and eBay's telling them it's going to be $30 or $35. If it will fit in a flat rate, that's my rule of thumb. If I know it'll fit in a regional A or regional B or a flat rate, then I'm going to go with those options.
I will never use eBay's calculated shipping for what Rachel just said. Like my friends, like I look at my friends' stores to look at their solds, but I also might cruise around if I sell something that I know they listed because I don't ask for friend favors. I'll just buy it straight up. And like sometimes I'll look, okay, let's say Jocelyn, Crazy Lamp Lady. Sometimes because that's who I look at the most. I'll look at something that I want and I'm like $30 shipping because she does calculated shipping because she has staff who aren't fully trained, right? So when you're new, I can understand where you might want to use calculated shipping, but like Rachel said, they don't get that right. And
or if it's super heavy.
Huh?
Like if it's super heavy, I'll still do calculated shipping. Or if it won't fit in a flat rate.
You're going to lose sales. So, but in the beginning, that's what scares people the most is shipping. So I get it. It's a learning curve, but just please don't let that scare you off. Hang in there. And eventually you'll look at something, you'll go, I know what box it's going in. I know how much it weighs. But again, I'm in the middle of the country. So
that is a big difference here. I'm going to interject. I do all calculated shipping and I have $100,000 in sales. It's not stopping them. But I am in the bottom corner. I am in Florida, and we're talking an $8 difference for me shipping to Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, the East Coast, compared to Cali. If that's a $20 item, I cannot take an $8 hit in shipping. That's half my profit. So if you're lucky enough to live in the middle of the country, which these three are, then that works. But if you're not, for whatever reason, the Cali sellers tell me they always sell to Florida, and the Florida sellers always sell to Cali. And I think that's because we're finding stuff locally, regionally, that's not available on the other coast. So a lot of our buyers are coming from the other coast. But I'm sorry for skipping you, Richard. I'm sorry. I would caution, you might be estimating too high. Now, like Rachel said, if it's a pair of jeans that are going to weigh 2 pounds, I'm going to put a padded flat rate.
Padded flat rate,
If it is a shirt that is going to weigh 2 pounds, it's going to go into a padded flat rate. I don't use the regional A, regional B, and I don't use the flat rate boxes because most of the time calculated is still cheaper than a large flat rate box, and a number 7 is an inch taller. But if you overcalculate by a pound, it could be pretty significant. So if you're unsure of your finished packing and you're new, put the box on the scale, like just flat, not put together. Put the box, put your item, put some bubble wrap, and then you know. And if it's like 2 pounds, 8 ounces, you have an 8-ounce window to where you could put 2 to 3 pounds and you're still going to be right. The big thing with shipping is if it goes over 12 inches and you're going to get into oversized and talk about a $20 difference. So if that's the case, you better know very close to what size box you're going to use. All right, Richard.
These are things you'll learn. Don't be afraid.
That's one thing I wanted to get into is some of the flat rate because I do have a lot of jeans, but unfortunately, somehow early on when I started reselling, I somehow got shipping policies started. And I've gone on to eBay multiple times and talked to them to try to get those removed. So for me, it's a little bit more difficult. I think I might try to see if I can get a shipping policy set up just for flat rate for like jeans and things like that. But for right now, I do calculated shipping, and it calculates it out to about like, it'll go all the way to California. I think I had one go to California. It was like $9 calculated shipping.
Yeah, see, my California 2 pounds are $15. It was 12 before the shipping raise. Now 2 pounds to California is almost $15.
But to reiterate on when you're dealing with the heavy package, yes, even some of us, like I've been selling, I wouldn't call me a vintage, but I've been selling for a little over a year and a half. I still, a heavy package, I will figure out what box I'm going to ship it in, put the box on there. As far as the packing, I know how much I'm going to wrap in there, how much packing material I'm going to put in there. I can estimate that by a pound or so. But it's real important because it can come back and bite you.
Yeah, I think calculated is probably the best for new resellers so they don't lose money. Flat rate or calculated. Because if you're going to guess, unless like if you're in the middle like them, like I see Yvonne saying in the chat she uses in New York, use one of those zip codes that's far away from you, get an estimate, and you're going to know what the most. Now, there are a lot of people who do flat rate shipping, and like a pair of jeans is going to be $9. And, you know, a small like 4-ounce item is going to be $4. And sometimes they'll make some, sometimes they'll lose some, it evens out. But I think that's better done by the more, like, I don't even know that I'm ready to commit to like flat rate because I do so many different weights, and like, mine go from 2 ounces up to like over 50 pounds. You know, I just have such a big variety. But I in one of my store reviews saw like she had first class stuff that was at like $12 shipping. So make sure if it's under a pound, put it as first class. That would be really important as well. Miss Pam has a question, and I don't know if I can't answer this. I don't know if anybody else can, and then we will try and do an hour's worth of questions quick fire.
So Danielle over at Yard Sales and Dreams, this is kind of like a specialty of hers, and she sells vintage Montgomery Ward and JC Penney's and things like that. She's Yard Sales and Dreams over on Instagram. She has YouTube also. And it's like, yes, they are sellers. Pittsburgh Picker also sells old Christmas catalogs. Yeah, they sell, surprisingly.
Oh, sorry.
Yvon,
Vintage magazines.
yeah,
I'm sorry,
answer that first. Vintage magazines and catalogs.
I was looking at the chat. Store catalogs good for resale. Well, some people love ephemera. So in the vintage community especially, they love ephemera. They do crafts and stuff with it. So I'm going to say yes.
Did you tell them in the chat where you got your bags? That's what Carol was asking.
The Walmart bags, the bread bags that Rachel brought up, and I showed you guys what a box looks like.
Are those Walmart?
Those are Walmart brands. Those are theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah, like great
Now,
value.
the other bags I buy by the roll. It's not my show, you guys, and we're limited on time. Instagram me or Facebook me, and I'll tell you, because it's a little bit of a story, and we're running out of time.
We're fixing to start the quick fire like right now. So we're going to answer
tell you my other tip.
We're going to answer as many questions as we can. Jackie wants to know, first, what kind of jewelry are we selling? And then we'll let Richard answer if he would ever do a live sale. So what kind of Christmas jewelry are we selling? Rachel, go fast.
Well, me personally, I don't sell Christmas jewelry. I thought she was talking about y'all's lives. I'm sorry. I don't sell Christmas
you're
jewelry.
fine. Oh, go.
Well, I haven't sold any Christmas jewelry. It's not quite that time, but I did sell some Halloween jewelry at the sale with Kat and Selena. So, and if we can get Selena back for another jewelry sale before too long, I'll throw in some Christmas jewelry.
I've never sold Christmas jewelry. I have done an online live sale on another channel. I don't think I'd ever do it again. So yes, I have.
I haven't sold any yet, but I listed like a bunch of Christmas tree brooches on eBay. All right. Maria wants to know if we look up and comp stuff at garage sales.
Yes, absolutely. As long as I have service. No shame.
If I need to, yeah, I don't care. My business.
I do it all the time. If I'm not certain about an item, I'll comp it.
Yes. PK Demas, does the custom SKU info show to buyers or it private to the seller? I will go ahead and answer that and say it is private to the seller. So you could put the date you bought it. You could put how much you paid. You could put whatever you want. I don't know, Heather, if this is a good comment or bad. No, it is how it is. I am very, very blunt. Most nurses, I would say, are probably the same way. Wendy's Vintage, has anyone had problems with USPS not scanning? What does she mean?
The delivery. Maybe she was voice texting delivery and it said they'll live. Yeah, I mean, USPS fails to scan stuff all the time. If it never shows delivered, that's your best recourse for a USPS insurance claim because you don't have to take it to be inspected because it was never delivered and it was lost.
Yeah, there's no proof there.
You can go to USPS site and put in a tracking request type thing, and that usually will jumpstart it if it's lost in the system. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. To me, I have the reverse. Sometimes I think they scan things as delivered, but they're really not going to deliver it till the next day. The guys, they're tired. And it shows up the next day, though.
I'm the same with Vaughn. I've had items that basically the buyers complained because it said it was delivered and they never got it. And then the next day they said, thank you very much. I got the item, blah, blah, blah. So I think what they do is they scan the item and they don't deliver it till the next day.
Yeah, I think that happens as well. Tammy, I'm going to just respond to this real quick. Said she had a store for 3 years, $21.95 a month, only 500 free listings. You're missing that they updated it earlier this year. Like my store, the $59.99 used to be 1,000 listings. It is now 10,000. So eBay increased the limits for all stores earlier this year.
Just
And
look
Marsha's
again.
saying that we're correct as far as you can auction your own items, but you cannot auction other people's. And she is an auctioneer. So that
Thank you.
is good to know.
Good to know.
Tommy, the secret way to put what you paid for the item on eBay is what we were just saying, the custom SKU. If you would like to keep everything in eBay, would be a great place. Like Richard was saying, he does that. You can put the date you bought it. You could put where, and you, like I use it to put where I stored it. And we also put an @ symbol when we cross post it. So I use the custom SKU for that as well. And your buyers do not see that. Do I like what? I don't, budget friendly. What's budget friendly?
I say that on our sales, budget friendly, on my sales, my live sales. I say budget friendly.
Carrie's ears were ringing when I was talking about him and TikTok, and American Arbitrage is in the house. Definitely check Carrie out on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Yes, TikTok changed his life, and he is, like I said, he's like the grandfather of TikTok now for the resellers. Jill's wanting to know, Yvonne, what is the cheat sheet you use with all the fashion help called, and where do you get it?
Yeah, I put in a question mark. I'm not sure what Jill, sweetie, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Are you talking about the quick descript for the measurements from Kenneth?
Maybe that's what she's talking about.
Or are you talking about like when we go over to Pinterest and we get all the style cheat sheets and save them on our phone to look at?
I don't know. I think me and Yvonne are the only ones over on TikTok, and I just started 4 days ago. So I would probably have to pick Instagram if I had to pick one. Yvonne, I think you're the only other one on TikTok.
If I can only do Instagram for now, we'll see which one.
I bet you money American Arbitrage is in the chat saying TikTok. If you had to pick one. All right, look, I'm getting caught up. Andrea says on tops or dresses, she just does a pit to pit and ask if it stretches. I probably could. I don't. I'm not gonna lie. Odalali shop. My shipping room is done. I'm moving on to creating an inventory system. Any suggestions?
You could use your custom SKUs for your actual inventory. Like if you put something in bin B1 or whatnot, mine are personally just marked women's tops, men's pants. And even if there's multiples, I just label it exactly with what that is. Because again, like what Kat said, time spent with that inventory system is time it could be listing. So I'm a visual person. And if it says women's tops, I throw the women's top in there.
Again, I never have more than 500 items. I keep it to what I know that I can handle. And I have pretty good turnover. I do use the clear bins from Walmart, and I do say things like, athletic tops, men's caps. And I tend to sell higher end clothing, higher end for middle class people. I mean, I'm not selling Chanel. And so a lot of it I'm going to leave hanging up so that it doesn't get wrinkled. So, but my suggestion would be you can Google on YouTube. A lot of people have shown YouTube videos of their systems and watch a lot of them, and then kind of, you might even like brainstorm and do a mixture, get your own idea.
Yeah.
What I do is I actually use the bin system. So I basically have all my bins in shelves, and when I use the clear ones like Yvonne, so that way I can actually see the items, and when things are starting to run low on those, then I know I can actually start putting more items in there. That works really good for me most of the time. Sometimes on the smaller items, it's all like you're scrambling to try to find those little small items.
Yeah, I would just say mark everything. I have some shelves, I have some bins, I have racks for clothes. So it really depends on what you're selling. I also just bought another like really thin drawered like storage container. I'm going to put like my brooches laid out in there so I can put what drawer they're in, open it up, see them. Right now, like if you guys can see, this is a bunch of bags that have numbers on them that are in like these little yellow I got these free at an auction, so I can like put rows of jewelry in there. But I think I'm going to go to laying them flat because I have to dig through those things, and then I don't know. I went to banker's boxes for my unlisted inventory for the exact reason that you want to put what's listed in clear ones. I don't want to see what's in my unlisted because then I will cherry pick it and my death pile will stay. So I put it in banker's boxes, so it's a smaller, easier to manage box. I can list one box at a time. I take the box and I'm either listing it or I'm going to get rid of it. But if I see, I'm going to be like, oh, I want to do this. And then I skip over stuff and then it's here a year later. So I would say it depends. It really depends on what you're selling. It really depends if bins would work better or like clothing racks or, you know, I would watch. Like I know a lot of people love Ginger Marvin, Kathy and Chris's. Theirs is all banker boxes. And a lot of people I've heard love that.
They're my neighbors.
Huh? They're your neighbors.
My neighbors.
I like Kathy and Chris. Susie Q says she's new here. She works for a paper and packing company. She wants to know if any of us are having a hard time getting boxes. If not, the USPS free boxes. They're having a hard time keeping boxes in stock.
I haven't had any trouble. Mainly mine are secondhand, though.
No. I stocked up ahead of time. I'm good. I don't know. Maybe there's an issue now, but I stocked up as soon as like we got closer to fourth quarter.
I'm like Yvon. I stocked up. I've got a room that basically I keep all my packing material in. And yeah, I think I probably need to order a little bit more from the USPS to make sure I can get those because we're in Q4. And right now things are going to start really slowing down.
Yeah, I have not had trouble. I just had to get 14 by 14 boxes. I actually let myself run out and those came pretty fast. And then I got 12 by 12 from eBay. So I haven't had any issues from USPS or like the boxes that I've been buying. Mindy wants to know if everyone purchases their postage labels from eBay.
On rare occasion, I'll find that pirate ship works better. But for what I sell, majority, yes, I mean, UPS, USPS, and FedEx are all, I buy them through eBay.
eBay sales, yeah, I'll buy them through eBay.
I'd say 99% through eBay. I was on vacation, had a couple items that somehow did not get put on delayed shipping, and I had to have my son ship it. And so the easiest way to pack it, take it to the post office, and buy the extra shipping. But other than that, no.
Yeah, I use all eBay labels. Yeah, I do all eBay. And maybe 1% of the time I might go to pirate ship for something that's very small and heavy. And then I use all pirate ship for my live sale, and my reseller box sales is all through pirate ship. What, Richard? Yes, sir.
I was going to say, I just actually looked at pirate ship today. I think people really need to start looking at pirate ship because now you can actually ship USPS and FedEx on there. And
no, UPS, not FedEx. UPS.
Well, I thought, okay. Well, I know UPS because I actually shipped something out through pirate ship, not
yeah, eBay. They started that like 3 weeks ago. It's amazing.
Pirate ship, and it was a heck of a lot cheaper on pirate ship. So I think people really need to look at pirate ship, especially right now.
Yeah, I agree. UPS rates are great on pirate ship. Does anybody have any instances they find eBay fees are all over the place? Lisa is saying she's calculating her fees and they ran from 2% up to 75% and very few under 15.
I think on average they're 13 if you just wanted an outright average for most things I sell. If something was 75%, I would never sell that again on eBay.
Yeah, I'm shocked at 75%. Lisa, I know you, man, talk to me. I want to know what the heck that looks like. Different categories do have different percentages. I mean, different items, but 75% never. Something's not right with that.
Yeah, I've never seen that high. I pretty much estimate all mine at 12%. And I sell pretty much anything. If I can make a profit on it, I'll sell it.
Yeah, the only way I could see the fees being 75%, like if you were counting shipping into that total. So if you sold a $10 item and shipping was $10, there's 50% right there. And then you add in like a 10% or 12% fee, then you're at 62%. So if you're counting shipping in, I could see a 75% happening if you have a cheap item that is expensive to ship. Now, for me, my fees average 20% because I promote my whole store. So I figure 20% across the board. Some are going to be lower, some are going to be higher, but overall it is generally 20%. So I would look at the only way I could see that happening is if it was you were calculating the shipping into that. That might add up there. Cece says she bought me a coffee. So I'm going to look really, really quick and tell you. I see that someone bought me a coffee. So that might be you, Cece. And then I see Nita, Amy, and Carla all have bought me coffees during the show. Thank you, guys. I will thank you in a future video, too. I'm OCD that I have to, whether people like it or not, I verbally will tell each and every one of you thank you for coffees, no matter how many I get. That's one of my things. So I'm assuming the someone is probably you, Cece. So thank you. Now I'll have to remember that for my video.
Hey, Kat, once you go on to PayPal, you'll see who it was.
Yeah, that's true. I'll see the name. Gianni wants to know if any of us can tell top seller rating, like what perks come with that.
You get a beautiful sticker next to your name. You do get a reduction in your fees as well. There's like right off the top of the fees, if I'm not mistaken. And then I saw I had lost it for a minute because I have some tracking issues. And then when it came back, my postage was cheaper as well.
I don't know how many sellers look. There might be some, really dedicated eBay buyers, that look to see, like if they're trying to compare who should I buy it from. But the perk would be top rated seller. And I think there's a certain shipping thing you have to agree to. And you'll get like 10%. Is it 10%? It used to be 20. I was on it when it was 20, but when they dropped it down to 10, I'm like, I'm not jumping through all these hoops for just 10%. But when it was 20, that was significant by the end of the month. That was awesome. But that's one of the perks. And I don't know
you only get the 10% discount if you offer free 30-day returns. You do not get the discount if you do not have free 30-day returns. I just want to say that
thing too, a shipping.
And you do get the shipping discount, I think, regardless of whether you do free returns. But to get 10% on your fees, you have to have free 30-day returns. Anything else, Richard?
2-day shipping, 2-day handling, 1 or 2-day handling.
No, somebody said that's only for top rated plus. Somebody was in chat last week and said they did 3-day and still had it.
Okay.
So I think it's for plus.
I'm like Rachel. I think you get a nice little sticker next to your name.
Yes, Kevin. Carrie is now the grandfather of TikTok. And Mike over at Shad Juice is also on TikTok. Godfather. Sorry. Godfather. Whatever. He's like the man on TikTok for reselling. And he's very helpful to all of us. He's like our mentor on TikTok. Miss Lois wants to know if you use Mercari, that the buyer and seller both have to rate each other before they get paid. Is that right?
I'm not on Mercari.
I don't know. I don't do Mercari.
Don't sell on Mercari.
Okay, so the buyer has 3 days to rate you. And if they don't, Mercari will auto rate it and release your funds. But if the buyer rates you immediately, you have to rate them to get your money. There's a 3-day limit. There's a 3-day limit that they have to rate you. I don't bug people to rate me. Most of them will rate you right when it comes, unless they don't buy on there frequently and they might not know. And even then, it's just an extra 3 days to wait. But yes, both people have to rate. I think Poshmark's the same way. Poshmark won't release it until they accept the item. They won't do it either.
That sounds like a lot of work.
I'm going to assume this is to me because of my not measuring clothing, and I'll let Rachel and Yvon answer too. I'm knocking on wood again. I do not get clothing returns. No, the only clothing return I have gotten in the last 6 months was a brand new with tags pair of Ralph Lauren shorts that they said were too small. Brand new with the tags.
If this was speaking about measurements, I measure, although it's not in my description, I lay the measuring tape out and take pictures that way. So they know exactly where my pit to pit was and the length of the shirt, exactly where I measured it. I don't accept returns. So I only get returns if it was something I screwed up on, in which case, that's fair. Force the return on me.
Yeah.
I don't get a lot of returns on clothing because I used to sell predominantly like 90% clothing. And so I teach a lot of tips on how I do clothing so that I don't have a lot of returns. There's certain things that I look for, like the way it stretches and, just, no, I don't, but there's reasons why. This is fast round, right?
I don't get a lot of returns on clothing because mainly I ship men's shirts, t-shirts, shorts, swim trunks, pants, do dress shirts, and I do measurements on those, but that's probably why I have a lot in my stockpile, our debt pile.
All right. I am going to do one more question. This one is to me, and then I'm going to let everybody say their goodbyes, and then we will go, and I'm going to look real quick and see who's on next week. Scrappy Stamper saying, Kat, you use poly mailers all the time. How do you put measurements in for a plush or shoes? So if it's not a padded flat rate, then I do the length times the width when it's flat and a 1. So if it was a 6x9 poly, I would put 6x9 by 1, because I think 1's the minimum that you can put in one of those spaces. Pirate Ship has cheaper pricing, cubic pricing for poly mailers that a lot of times is cheaper than eBay's, but I typically don't go over and use that. So, all right. I am going to stop the questions there because that was asked at 10 p.m. We are 10 minutes over. I am going to go backwards and let Miss Yvonne say goodbye. Again, don't forget everybody's links are in the descriptions. We are here every week. Hold on. I'm looking to see who's next. Where am I? Oh, I have real nifty vintage and Fatbird finds on next week, it looks like.
That's going to be great.
That will be fun. So I'm going to let Miss Yvonne, we're going to go backwards. Yvonne, then Rachel, then Richard, and we will see you guys next Tuesday. All right, Miss Yvonne.
All right, you guys. What I've got coming up next is Thursday. I'm having a live sale on my channel with Becky, Vintage Viking Treasures, and Stephanie, Thrifting Adventures. And then in a couple more weeks, Kat will be coming over for a live sale. Thank you.
Yep.
Kat, thanks a huge lot for inviting me here tonight to share the stage with you and your audience. The next thing that I have going on, I've got some videos going live over on YouTube this week. And one of them, I'm thrifting for a mystery box. On Friday, I have a live show that is typically at 8 o'clock Central Time. But this week, due to Halloween, we're going to be at 9 o'clock Central on my channel Friday. And Philly Flipper is my guest this week.
Perfect. Richard.
Okay, what I've got going on is I'm going to be going through my death pile and probably doing some videos on that. I've got some high bid lots that I picked up that have been sitting down in my basement for a while. So it's going to be a surprise what's in those. So check it out.
All right, guys. We will see you guys next Tuesday. Bye, guys.